Hello, and welcome to Conversations and Cocktails. Today is Valentine's Day. I don't know when you're going to see this, but it's Valentine's Day here right now. And my special guest for Valentine's Day is Jill Pagano. And Jill is the author, I want to show you. Jill is the author of Getting Happy with Your Body. And isn't this a perfect Valentine's looking book? It's got all different colored suckers on a pink background. She is amazing, and I'm excited for you to learn about her and her book. And if you like this one, make sure you follow me. I think that's the right word. And I think there's like a subscribe button somewhere. So subscribe. Hi, and welcome to Conversations and Cocktails. Today's guest is Jill Pagano, and Jill is a published author. I'm very excited to hear about her book, Getting Happy with Your Body, and it's got suckers all over it, which I like. And today, this is our drink. It's very cute. Look how lovely it is. It's Cupid's Kiss, because today is Valentine's Day, and this is actually a mocktail. So this is ginger beer with some rose simple syrup and lemon juice with a little cherry inside as a garnish.
Pretty.
Cheers!
Sparkly. Cheers to you.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day. Cupid's Kiss.
Cupid's Kiss. I can feel it. That's delicious.
Yeah, very refreshing. Cupid's Kiss at Cafe Racer.
Say that 5 times over.
Yes.
And it's a mocktail.
Yes, thank God. So,
Right.
Jill, I met you through the women. I think you hear a lot, the audience, about Mama Gina, because I do have a lot of guests that also follow Regina Tommenschauer, and that's how I met you. And I'm trying to remember when we met. A year ago?
It hasn't been that long, so
I
yeah.
know.
It's just new friends.
Yeah, new friends. It's been about a year. So Jill is an amazing woman in not only Mama Gina's community, but in the Seattle business community. And so I'm excited to get to know you better.
Me.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
It's an honor.
So, okay, so this book is about body. And yet it's got suckers on it. So usually body and health and those kinds of things. We did discuss the very nice cover on your book that
Thank
doesn't
you.
say only eat cauliflower.
Right.
So-
No broccoli. I mean, if you like it, go ahead. But for this, life is very sweet and our body is very sweet. And I wanted the cover to engage people so that they felt like, wow, my body is a sweet place to get to know. And that's why the candy's on the cover.
Oh, I love that. So what inspired you to writing a book is wonderful, but about your body, I mean, where did you decide to fall in love with your body, or like that your body was important, not just a vessel that you run around in?
You know, it's actually taken 25 years, and it's an ongoing process for me.
Okay.
So through my background of starting out in fitness, where I used my body as an end result to get to something, or to teach classes or earn money, and then progressing through the years of coming into a different relationship with my body, to where I can learn about it, understand it, and grow as it does, adapt as it does. Because I don't have the same body that I did when I was 20 and could teach 10 aerobic fitness classes a week. I have a different relationship with my body now, a different appreciation. And so over the past 25 years, that's been my journey. And that's what I wrote about.
Is getting happy with your body.
Yeah, and I specifically, I really played around with the title a lot. But in fact, the title was going to be something entirely different. But I kept coming back to getting happy. I mean, I had professionals tell me, well, you should say how to get happy. Like, that's a better way to title a book. And I was like, well, no, I don't want that. Or get happy is easier to remember. But for me, the getting is the active part. It's it's the process of engaging with my body so that I'm getting there. I'm not there every day. Not every day is this perfect, like, glorious, oh, I love my body inside and out, I love my arms, I love this. No, it's this process of loving myself, loving my body, but I'm still getting there. It's not an end result.
Right.
It's not just something I can check off a checklist. Like I go to the store, I got to pick up milk. I go, okay, I'm going to go and just pick up being happy with my body. Like done. It's not just done for me. So, hence the title.
Hence the title. Hence the title.
Let us all we're getting there.
So, okay, so it sounds like you said 25 years. So you were a professional athlete? Is that?
I danced in college with the dance theater. Dance is my thing. I did a lot of athletics in high school. But really, once I was out of college, I moved into the fitness arena. And really in the 90s, group exercise was like being an athlete. I mean, it was, we were very serious about our training, very serious about how many classes we taught. And not that it's not that way now, but there was something about the late 80s and the 90s. It was kind of post-Jane Fonda era. So, I was teaching 9 classes a week of this high-impact, high-intensity aerobics. I was lifting weights. I was kind of doing some bodybuilding. So my whole world was around being fit.
Okay.
Whether I was teaching other people as a personal trainer how to be fit, or whether I was trying to attain better fitness for myself.
So then during that time, so personal trainer, you're definitely doing one-on-one with people. Mm-hmm. And during that time, your body was probably in magnificent shape, I would imagine, right?
Well, interestingly enough, I had this dichotomy, and one of the stories I talk about in the book is I was in fantastic shape. People would stop me on, I'd just be out hiking or something. They're like, what do you do? I want your body. Or, I'm always like, well, genetics, I guess. But I was in this position of looking low body fat, 13%, like all these like check marks. I could do pull-ups, blah, blah, blah. But I was battling Epstein-Barr syndrome. I had mononucleosis. I had a case of shingles in my 20s. So I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. So even though I was in this extraordinary athletic shape, my body was also communicating to me on a different level that my health was not there. It really helped me to see they're separate things. I can be fit and have this pristine looking body, but yet my body was struggling with keeping up with what I wanted it to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the pivotal turning point, is I can't proceed this way because I'm getting sick and feeling poorly. And thankfully, something new came into my life, a new way of being with my body that took me on another 20-year path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so learning to love your body, you're talking about your body in your 20s was, a machine.
Yeah.
But the insides were falling apart, even though you had a machine that was running.
Yeah.
And then you changed course. And then may I ask what you changed course into?
Yeah. I had this lucky opportunity where I was at a fitness convention.
Okay.
If you can believe, there's actually conventions for fitness professionals.
Conventions for
Just,
everything.
Everybody walking around in their unitards of the day. But anyway,
I love it.
Going to classes and learning from other educators. And I stumbled into a class called Guts and Grace.
Okay.
And the presenters were just very different than what I was used to. They took their shoes off. They had all of us take our shoes off. So this particular class was a barefoot class, and it was much more about sensing our body and expressing with the music. And that brought me back to my college days of dancing, but it also opened up this whole new world that my body wasn't there just for me to tell it what to do, but that together we really could have a relationship where I could learn to listen from it, which was as valuable as me telling, if not more, me telling it what to do. There was this conversation that I was starting to embrace.
Nice.
Yeah.
So then did you teach Guts and Glory?
Oh, Guts and Grace was the name of the workshop.
Guts and
The
Grace.
body of work is called the Nia technique.
Nia. Okay, I know
yeah.
Nia.
Some
Yes.
people know it.
Okay.
It's been around
okay.
for 35 years now, and I first started teaching in 1996, and I taught for almost 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must have quite the following then, if
Well,
you've taught for that long.
There were some really, really fun years there, and I went on to become a trainer for them, so I got to teach their educational body of work, which is really It's a 6-day intensive where we go deep into understanding how to have a relationship with our body. How does our body communicate with us? What's it like to get to know our body?
Okay,
That's
so
what
now
I get to teach.
that is wonderful. And then are you still teaching?
No, I'm actually not, which is crazy. I mean, I love teaching. I will always be a teacher at heart. But I got this over the last probably couple years, this calling that it was, in fact, I talk about it in the book, of that moment where I heard that it was time to stop teaching and that it was time to do something different or to bring what I had learned into a bigger, broader market.
Okay.
So more people could learn about this unique way of being in their body, living and loving it and getting to know it. And so I took a year off. I sold my studio. I took a year off and wrote the book.
Wow. So that's one. So all the messages that you've gleaned from your body and spirit, kind of a mind, body, spirit, now you're teaching all of us through your book.
Well, I hope to. I hope to, if anything else, is to allow people to have just a moment of a mindset shift that, wow, if I can engage with my body in a different way than I'm currently doing, if I can have some more awareness about how to learn from my body, then it really can unravel into a holistic and healthy path. So the book really steers away from telling people what to do. I felt like there was a lot of information and resources about what to eat and how much to exercise and what type of exercise to do, and the checklist, which I already just sometimes get exhausted from, like, okay, I'm supposed to have this many fruits and vegetables and this many ounces of water. And I gotta fat burn, I gotta strength train, I didn't want to give people any more of a checklist. So the book is more of a journey where they get to know themselves and get to know their body. And that motivates us to want to engage with our body better, to want to choose healthier things.
Right. So is this book for women with any body types or sizes or ways of being, or do they need to be dancers or athletes?
No, it is for anyone, and I know the cover is pink because I love pink. But it's also for men. I mean, it's for, I know that it'll be hard pressed probably to have a bunch of men holding up the book going, I love it, because pink can be a little, it's very feminine.
It's pink with suckers.
I know.
Yeah.
But
I want to see the man.
Humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see the hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag happy with your body and a big burly man.
That's an awesome idea.
That's what I want to see.
Let's do that. Do that. But it is really for everybody. I dedicate the book to all human beings.
All human beings. And now there is, besides stories of your evolution, there's also some journaling that can be done in the book. Is that right?
Yeah, because it's an exploration of getting to know myself, getting to know my body, getting to know what is happy in my body. How do I feel happy in my body? It's all these questions that we get to excavate. And so the book, every chapter has different journaling exercises, so that people can kind of put pen to paper and understand the thoughts and feelings that they have around their body and around what it's going to take to get happy with it.
Okay. I just ate a deep fried Twinkie and my body hurts. Like, I don't normally eat that kind of thing, but it's Valentine's Day, and so we have here at Cafe Racer, it's called Dick on a Stick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's a deep fried Twinkie, which I think is fair food, but I just decided we needed dicks on a stick.
Nice.
And so I told the chef, make me a dick on a stick, and I took a bite, and I'm like, probably within a half hour, it's like, oh, I don't like it. My body does not like dick on a stick.
Yes.
So does it have that kind of thing where, like, when I eat donuts, because basically it's like a donut, right?
Yeah.
When I eat donuts, a half hour later,
I feel
my
this
body
way.
hurts.
It doesn't get into specifically checking in with different foods, but what the last third of the book talks about how to get to know our body, which is a be with your body process. So I have a 3-step process that teaches people, or it invites them into sensing their body, into understanding, just like your body or your stomach said to you, oh, I'm not so sure I like this. You're receiving those messages from your stomach. You're receiving those messages from your body. You're listening to it, and you were able to go, oh, I don't think I want any more of that tick on the stick, or I do, but I'm going to pay for it. You
Right.
can do it. We can all do it consciously as
Right.
well.
Right.
So my Be With Your Body process, 3-step process, is how do I meet my body and say, oh, my stomach, I'm going to meet my stomach, like it's feeling something, and then sense, really listen to it, and then make a choice. So it's a way for us to be living our life in relationship to our body. So instead of it just being no, yes, do this, don't do this, it's engaging when we have a process like the Be With Your Body process.
Right, and which is lovely because science, science has said, this is our body, this is our mind, the two shall not become one. They
Right.
are separate.
Right.
And we know that that's not true anymore.
so
and so
integrated.
your book helps to really get that the mind and body are one, and that the body speaks to the mind just as much as the mind speaks to the body.
Right, and we do address that, just having some time to contemplate what are some of the things I'm saying, Jill, am saying to my body.
Right.
Sometimes those are good things, and sometimes those are things that I might not say to a friend or even an enemy. And so being able to observe that is really important just for our overall well-being.
Right. Self-talk.
Self-talk, yeah. So I'm very, it's easy to be judgmental, but for me, bringing a more compassionate approach to this new relationship with my body has made all the difference. It's just made all the difference.
That's lovely. That's lovely. So I see the journey and how you got from the 20-something-year-old athlete whose body was great, but whose insides were kind of mono. Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
your body was telling you something,
to be
right?
25 and get shingles,
Yeah.
which is usually like
High
something
stress.
we get in our older
Yeah,
years.
yeah. And then you found Nia, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of saved you, and then you realized that it was your mastery, where you get to share all of your experience by writing this book, and it's a lovely trajectory. And was it just that smooth? Like you were talking about it, like ta
I know.
ta ta ta.
I just happened to this.
Like an angel, you just skipped through life, and then you wrote a book.
Right.
So is that something big happened? So how did you, like, were there things that blocked you? How did you keep going? Like, how did you continue to take your body and keep it going when you've got shingles and mono? And then how did you realize, like, okay, Nia's what I want, but it takes a lot to be a Nia teacher. There's like years of practice, and then you're teaching, and writing a book is not a lot of people want to write a book,
Yeah.
but they don't.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
are like some of the things that you had to overcome?
Yeah. Well, for one, baby steps. I had to overcome throughout this whole journey this idea that there was any one specific trajectory, and this was the trajectory I was going to take. So for myself, taking baby steps, especially with the book, made all the difference.
I have to just stop because every time I hear baby steps, I think Bill Murray. And what is that? What about Bob? Right? What about Bob? And it's a funny movie, right? What about Bob? Baby Steps. The book is called Baby Steps, and it's hilarious.
I haven't seen that.
So I think it's great,
Okay.
though. It does. I just had to stop and acknowledge this very funny "What About Bob" movie, where the psychologist tells him baby
Just
steps.
make baby steps.
He's got a book. He's selling his
Right.
book, Baby Steps.
Right.
So baby steps. So yes, that was funny. But you really actually did baby steps every day.
For the book, I did do baby steps. For the book, I found a couple years previously I had a lot to write about. And so I'd write something and then I'd stick it in an envelope. Right, and then a couple days later or whenever, I just was writing my thoughts. I didn't know that what the organization was going to be. I didn't even start with like a table of contents and then fill in the blank, create the problem, create the solution. I mean, there's all sorts of formulas for writing a book. For me, it was just messier than that. It was writing whenever I felt like I needed to over the course of a couple of years, put them in some, to me, it's always paper first, put it in a folder and just store it away. And then when I decided this is the year to write the book, then I was able to take those manila folders and look at them and organize my thoughts. But even then, the book took on a journey of its own. And maybe a lot of authors will say that, is that there were times where I was writing, even while I was putting chapters together, I was writing and new stuff was coming out that I didn't even know I was going to write about. So yes, small steps, not to be too judgmental on myself was also a very important aspect of it, because one of the struggles, particularly as a first-time writer, was like, who wants to hear this? Is it valuable enough? Am I good enough to be writing this? Do I have the stuff it takes to say what I need to say? So there, I just had to keep moving forward. And that's where it was just like, well, just keep writing it down. You can throw it out later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you found a publisher, like.
Actually, I decided to take on the task of doing it all myself, which is very much me. I did not find a publisher. I self-published it.
Okay.
I found an editor to work with, and I found a designer to work with, and we created our own little publishing team. And so I'm publishing it through Amazon, and then I think maybe the next book I'll go through a traditional publisher route. But for a traditional publisher, it's typically takes a longer process, and I am an impatient woman, and so I knew I just wanted to write this book and get it out on the shelves.
Nice. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
So it was a quick start for me. I could do it myself.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So now I ask every woman that is in your seat this question, and that is, as a female and from your own personal cultural background, how has that helped you or hurt you on your journey and getting to this point of being a published author?
That's such a big question, because I don't know whether to dive into. So I'm 100% Italian. Both my parents are Italian. I was born on the East Coast, and there comes with that a certain energy that I grew up around. But then I feel like I guess the best way I could say it is that I feel like I come from two different worlds, because I have this East Coast Italian heritage, and then we moved to the West Coast when I was about 10, and California specifically. So then there's this whole opposite, very LA, very West Coast. And then we made one more trip up to Idaho, which is very rural.
Right.
I ended up ranching with horses and farming and growing, working in the farm with my folks, this big garden we had. So I almost have like this triad, these three parts that have alchemized into me. And sometimes I struggle with which am I dipping into. But as I get older, I'm starting to realize that it's all a blend.
And so do you feel like that has helped you, these three parts of you, that like as you're moving, you've got to adapt to the area that you lived in, and very different areas. And so if you're 10, you would adapt, and 10 is an important age. And then I don't know when you moved to Idaho, but LA to Idaho is a huge difference. If anybody, it's a huge difference. So that background of adaptability, do you feel like that helped you in your process?
I'm so glad you brought up that word, because that is one of my favorite words. And I mean, I talk about it in the book, our body is constantly adapting, but I think that means a lot to me, because exactly what you picked up on. From a very young age, I was faced with having to adapt, and moving to these two very different regions enabled me to hone my skill of being able to adapt. And perhaps that's why I write about it in the book. Maybe it is something that is near and dear to me that I've relied on, so that I now can share that is a way that we can be with our body a little bit more. Our body is constantly adapting all the time to us, and I picked up on that. But you picked up on my adapting with my regional moving around. So,
Yeah. Well,
it's a skill I
cultural
have.
backgrounds are fascinating. How people are raised and what they bring to the table. You know, what is it? Nurture or nature.
Yes.
And so I like to know, how does nurture or nature fit into your big picture?
Yeah.
And it sounds like in your nature or your nurture,
Yeah.
that you were adaptability is a
Yes.
skill you.
Yeah, it was a need to have, and it was a good skill to develop, and it has worked for me in many aspects of my life.
And in such an aspect that you teach us all how to use adaptability,
I hope
right?
so.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the time when you get to tell everybody, how do they find you? How do we get this book? I mean, I get it because, look, I got a signed copy.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much
Yes.
for having me here and being able to share the message of the book and to share myself. But yes, Getting Happy with Your Body is on Amazon. You can put in Getting Happy with Your Body. You can put in my name, Jill Pagano. I also have a website, jillpagano.com. So it's Pagano. And I'm on Facebook as well, Jill F. Pagano.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd
okay.
love to reach out.
So you want to reach out to Jill on Facebook. You want the book, go to Amazon, and the website, you can do both and find out more about Jill.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank
Here,
you.
cheers. One more cheers.
What a delight.
Cheers to our bodies. Thank you.
Thank you. You
That
make
was
it
fun.
so easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm practicing. Michelle was